Empire. The Chola dynasty is believed to have originated from the fertile valley of the river Kaveri. By the turn of the 18th century, there were three prominent kingdoms of the south: the Cheras, the Pandyas, and the Cholas, who were considered to be the most powerful of the three. The year 985 saw one of the greatest kings of southern India ascend the throne, Rajaraja Chola I, also known as Rajaraja the Great, who defeated the eastern Chalukyas of Vengai, the Pandyas of Madurai, and the Gangas of Mysore. His campaign of expansion included the capture of Sri Lanka, which remained under the Chola rule for 75 years. He also conquered the islands of the Maldives and even sent missions to Indonesia. Being an able administrator and a great lover of architecture, he commissioned the building of the magnificent temple of Tanjore. The temple is named Rajarajeshwar after him. Rajendra Chola, the heir and son of Rajaraja Chola I, took over the kingdom after his father's death and was an able ruler just like him. His greatest achievement included the conquest of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. He conquered lands right up to the banks of the river Ganga. From the holy river, he collected the sacred water in golden pots and poured it into a tank he called Chola Ganga. He then adopted the title of Gangaikonda, which means victor of the Ganga. The period under his reign came to be known as the Golden Age of the Cholas. Art, music, dance, poetry, drama, sculpture, painting, philosophy, and religion all reached new heights. Temples were the center of all activities, where the courtyard served as a school for students who were taught ancient Vedas and scriptures. It was also built to be used as a shelter by people in case of an emergency. The Cholas continued to lay much emphasis on architecture. Magnificent temples were built. The Brihadishwara temple at Tanjore is a prime example. Another famed art form of the time were the carved bronze statues. The Nataraja and the Ardhanarishwara are famous examples of this art form. The eastern Chalukyas and the Cholas had intermarried through the generations, and thus a new clan was born. Rajendra Chola's daughter was married to the Chalukya prince Vimaladitya. One of the Chalukya Chola rulers was Rajendra II, an eastern Chalukyan prince who called himself Kulotunga, or Star of the Dynasty. Under his rule, Sri Lanka gained independence from the Chola rule. His reign was of peace and prosperity. Trade with Southeast Asia aroused, with many diplomatic missions sent to China. Around the year 1118, however, the Chalukya Chola rulers lost control of Vengai to the western Chalukya king Vikramaditya VI. The future Chola kings all faced trouble in one way or the other. They were constantly assaulted. By the 13th century, the Pandyan monarchs were gaining strength. The Chola Empire shrank to the region around Tanjore and soon came to an end when the last Chola king, Rajaraja III, died.